Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes. So I think still people are joining. So let's wait for another 2 minutes and I'll start the class. Okay, students. So let's continue the class. So once again, good afternoon, everyone. So if you, as you can remember, the last class we started chapter 6 and there we started to discuss about arrays, right? So certain things we have already completed, like okay. Before that, can someone make sure, like I have shared the screen. I hope that is visible to you all. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So we have discussed what is, I mean, the definition for an array and what an array is, and like how to identify the array, and like there are like some specific characteristics of array, like having an index and what is an element, the name of the array, and how to declare and create arrays, and assigning values to arrays. So these things we have discussed during our last class, and in today's class, yeah, and also we discussed this as well, right? So accessing the array values. This one have we discussed accessing the array values? Can someone recall me? Where did we stop in the last class? Assigning values to arrays with that we have discussed. So there I told you about this array out index out of bound exceptions and all. So I think we stopped at this point. That is accessing the array's value. Okay. So I'll continue from there, and also please everyone make sure that you are on mute. Unless it's an important and unless it's a, like if you feel when you feel like asking a question from me, then of course you can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, please mute yourself. Okay, so now let's see how we can access the values that we have already assigned to an array. Okay, so that means in terms of coding, when we are writing the program, how that can be done. Okay, so here the code snippet is shown, and as I told you, don't worry, like in our, like once we have clearly understood these theoretical aspects, of course I'm having exercises for you all, so there we can practice the program. Okay, maybe after like another 3 to 4, I mean 3 or 4 slides, we'll be having the exercises. Okay, but for the time being, carefully get the concept or carefully get the idea on how that can be done, so that when we are writing the program, maybe you can work by yourself, or even like, of course, I also will be sharing the programs. Okay, so I will do in the class. I mean, so while the question is given, I also will be doing that. So of course, so maybe you can understand how the particular thing is working, or how like, so what is the line of the code that you should write, something like that. Okay, so here now let's discuss how to access the array's values. Okay, so so here I told you, here is the code snippet given, and based on what we have studied, can someone tell me what is happening in this first line, or what is the purpose of having this first line of this particular code snippet? So this, of course, we have discussed.
Array declaration.
Yes. So here what we are doing, we are trying to declare the array. So there I have told you, you should have two things there. Two important features should be included there, that is the data type and the name for the array. Okay, so in that aspect, so in relation to that, can someone tell me what is the name of the array that we are trying to create here?
My array.
My array.
Yes.
My array.
Someone is telling that my voice is breaking, but I feel there's no chance that my voice can break. Is it so with everyone? Or maybe if that
No,
person.
ma'am. It's clear.
Yes, because even I am not using any. Yeah, because, yeah, since I am in the faculty now, there is no way that the voice can break. Even the weather is fine. So I think maybe the particular person, can you please check your internet connection? Maybe the issue is from your side. Okay. So the name of the array is my array, and what we are trying to do in this line is that we are trying to declare the array. Very good. And what we are trying to do in this line? Can someone answer me?
Array
Size.
initialization.
Yes, very good. So here what we do, we are initializing the array. So initializing in the sense, it's all about creating the array itself. That means, as I told you, if you can remember, when we are working with a Java program for arrays, how the arrays will be created? They will be created as objects. So we know when for the Java programs, when we are trying to create the objects, of course we will need to use the keyword new. So we are telling my array, the particular array that I am creating, new int, and we are declaring. So yeah, so what is this? What we are trying to do here by this 5?
Size.
Size of the array.
Yes, very good. So that is the size of the array. Or we can tell, or in other terms, or in a simple way, we can tell it is the number of elements that we are going to have in this particular array. Okay, so you are okay with this one. And here what we have done, we have assigned the values to the array. Okay, we are telling in my array. So in this particular array called my array, we are telling at the 0th index, the value that I am assigning is 23. And at the first index number 1, I am assigning 3. And index number 2, I am assigning 45. Index number 3, I am assigning 65. Index 4, I am assigning 10. And all together, we are having 5 elements in the array. So that is coming from here. Altogether, we are having 5 elements. That means that is coming from the size of the array. And the size of our array, we know it is 5. Okay, so all these things we have discussed during our last class. Okay, so here up to assigning values. So what is today's class? It's all about how to access the array values. Okay, so now tell me, I just try to recall the things for you all up to this level. So everything clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So I hope the same with everyone. So as I told now what we are going to discuss, it is about accessing the array's values. How these values can be accessed. So if you can remember, last time I told you. So when we want to access the array, there is a way. Or there is a particular element in the array. So there is a particular aspect in the array using which we can access its values. Can someone tell me what is that? How the array values can be accessed, using which the array access values can be accessed? Can someone?
Index number.
Yes. It's, I heard like someone telling me index number, but it's not index number. By okay, the term is index. Okay, so by calling the index, we can of course access the array values. So here you can see using the printing statement in Java. You are familiar with this one, right? System.out.println.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Okay, so using this one, using the what we call the printing statement of Java. Now what we can do is, so this is the way you can call my array in the particular index with a particular index. So at the execution of the program, you will be having 23, 3, 45, 65, 10 because for index 0, the array value that will be accessed will be 23. For index 1, the array value that will be accessed is 3. For index 2, the array value will be 45. Likewise, will be going on. So that is simply we can do by using the printing statement. So this is how you are supposed to access the values in array, and this I have related in terms of the program that we are going to write, the coding aspect. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
It is clear, right? So anyone to like with any problem? Or shall we move forward?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. So that is the accessing the array values. And next we have getting the size of the array. Okay. So maybe here when of course when we are creating the array, okay, so at the initialization stage itself, we will be normally giving the number of elements for the array or size of the array. But when we try, well, like in terms of program, still there is a way on which we can find out the size of the array. Okay, I hope so. Based on this code snippet, so here I think these things are these things you already know. So here it's a declaration, then initialization and assigning values, and here. So when we try to get the size of the array, here this one. What you can do is, so you can get the name of the array. So in our case, the name of the array is my array dot length. This is important. Okay, so in a printing statement, you can tell the length of my array or the array's length is, and what you can pass, you can tell my array dot length. Maybe if the name of your array is student array. Then here it will come as student array dot length. Maybe if your array's name is C, just C, then that will be C dot length. So here this is the important thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, so when you try to get the array size, so here what you are trying to do, you can pass it as the name of the array dot length. So it will return the size of the array. So in our case, it will be 5. Okay, okay with this one?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So I'll move to the next slide. Okay. So this part is also there for us to discuss array initializer. You can instantiate an array and provide initial values with an array initializer, a comma-separated list of expressions called an initializer list enclosed in braces. The number of values determine the size of the array. Okay, so all this time we have studied, right, how to create an array. So when you are trying to create an array, normally what you will do, you will declare the array and you will assign. I mean, you will be initializing the value to the array variable. Normally, this is how the array is created. Then you can assign the values to the array. Then if you want to access the values, of course, using the printing statement, you can access it. And if you want to find the size, this is normally not done, but just to give you the idea. Okay, I mean finding the size. Other things are there. Okay, so when you want to find the size, then of course you can use the array name dot length, this particular expression, and find out the size. This is the normal way of how the array creation and the array accessing process is done. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so that's how it's done. But here, there's still another way that you can use. Okay, that's what I'm going to introduce you here. So that we are calling as array initialize. Okay, so here you can see. So using this particular format also, you can create an array. So how that can be done here? So it is more like array, what is that? Array, so what are the steps we have to, so what are, okay. Now tell me what are the steps we have when we are trying to create an array? First of all, what we will do?
Data type.
Declare. Yes, first of all, you have to declare the array by giving the data type for the array and also by giving a name to the array. Then what we will do, of course, we have to, I'll go back to the slide. Okay, first of all, you have to declare the array by giving the data type as well as the name of the array. And then we have to initialize the values to the array. So that we have to use the new keyword and there you will pass on the size of the array. Then you will be assigning values to the array. Okay, so these three steps are important. Likewise, here using in array initialization, what we are trying to do is the three steps that I explained just now, we are doing that in one line. Okay, so this is the format of doing it. First of all, you will be having the type, the data type, okay, and the array name, and then you will be passing the values. So here you can see the code snippet example. Here you have the data type, and this is the name of the array. And here, instead of putting the values in this order, here what we are doing, we are by separating commas, by using a comma separated list of expressions. enclosed in braces. In double braces, what we are trying to do is the same thing we are doing, but in one line. So that we are calling as array initializer. I mean the array declaration, initialization, and assigning values. Those three are done in a single line of code. So that you can call as array initializer. Is that clear? Okay, so I hope the same with everyone. Okay, so this is what we are calling as array initializer. So I given in the slide what it is. Here we can create. That means we can instantiate an array and provide the initial values with an array initializer. So how the values can be given by using a comma separated list of expressions that we are having in an enclosed. That means there will be an opening and a closing. So they are within an enclosed braces. Okay. So here, now you might have a doubt. So normally in the normal process that we are doing here, we will be assigning, I mean, we'll be assigning the size of the array, right? I mean, the number of elements that we should have in the array will be like that's how we do. So here now you will be having a doubt how the size of the array can be identified or how the size of the array can be determined. Okay, so that is based on the number of elements, whatever the number of elements that you are passing here, or whatever the number of values that you will be passing in between these enclosed braces. Okay, so based on this particular code snippet, someone tell me what is the size, what will be the size of this particular array?
Six.
Six.
Yes, very good. So this will be the size of the array will be 6 because here we have passed 6 values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And someone tell me, maybe you can have a note and you can write and see. Wait for a minute, I'll come back. But here the question is this. Maybe you can write in a note and see. Okay. I want to know the index of value 13. Okay, note it down. I want to know the index of value 13 and the index of value 22. I need the answers from you. So please find out the answers and you can even put it in the chat. Okay, so there are so many answers. So let me check. Yes, very good. So everyone, yes, very good. So I just wanted to check whether you have got the concept clearly. Yes, the idea is clear. Okay, so for value 13 or for the element 13, the index is 2. Okay, and here that will be 5. Where for value or for the element 22, the value will, sorry, the index will be 5. Yes, all of you have given me the correct answers. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, so that's about array initializer. I hope that should be clear for you all now. Is there anything that I need to recall or revise in this section, in this part? Or shall we move forward? Okay, someone telling please differentiate between array size and array initializer. Ah, they are not similar. Okay, yes, they are different. Array size means that array size means what? Okay, let's get the answers from one of you instead of me telling. So someone tell me what is array size?
Number of elements. Number of elements.
Yes, very good. So array size means that is the number of elements that or the number of values that we will be having in the array. Here array initializer means it's not that. Are they similar? Others?
No.
No, ma'am.
Yes. So here, so what's happened? Okay, so in this part I will tell. Okay, array initializer means here, normally for the array creation process, we have this array declaration. And after declaring the array, using the data type and by giving a name for the array, what we will be doing, we have to initialize the array. And then what we will do is, as the third step, we have to
Assign the values.
yes, we have to assign the value to the array. So normally that's how it is done, right? So that's what we have studied in these slides. But here, array initializer means, okay, so you can just simply consider it in this way. It's all about doing all these three steps in one line. Okay, so here what we will be doing is we are trying to instantiate or we are trying to create the array by passing the type, the data type of the array, the name of the array, and the values in a single line. And the values you have to pass with comma separated as a comma separated list of expression in a enclosed brackets, within enclosed brackets. So they are not same and this is the difference. Is that clear now? The person who was asking me, is that clear? Okay. So, Nihla, how can we add a new value in that place? Okay, I'll keep. So there is another question, but I just don't want it to confuse everyone. So here based on this one, this array size and array initializer between that, like some are getting confused. So let's keep it. And the particular person, you can ask me. I mean, you can, yeah, you can message me or like that. I will give you the explanation. But for the time being, that's not really much necessary. So I'll move to the next slide. Wait a minute. Okay. So I'll move to the next slide now. Okay. So this is there. That is using loops with array. Okay. So this also you have to know before we go to the exercises. Okay. So normally in programming, we will be using the loops. Okay. So loop, of course, we can use for loop and while loop. So normally for loops are used, but even while loops can be used. So that is, I'll tell you. So uh, I told you, no, there are three. The first three process that we are trying to include using array initializer. And then what we have this, we even assign the values using array initializer. So the three steps are covered, and then we have to access the values. So in order to access the values, what we do, we use the printing statement and we access the values, right? So here, by using loops, also we are trying to do the same. Okay, but normally this method is not followed. For example, imagine the array is big. I mean, the size of the array is big. So in that case, we can't use this for each and every line, or else for each and every element, we can't put this system.out.println. That means the printing statement we can't do. So in that case, what we have, the simple way for that is to use the loops. Okay, so by using for loop, we can of course we can print out the array. Okay, in the program I will explain this particular code snippet, but for the time being, just get the concept, right? Okay, so here what you can do is, here the array has been created using the array initializer, and there is a for loop. Using the for loop, what we can do is we can print out the values of the array or the elements of the array. So maybe when we are working with the program, I will tell you how that is working. Okay, we can see like by each pass by pass. Don't worry, I'll continue. That okay. So here, so that okay. So that's all about the idea that you have to get under this array in order to write the programs. Okay, so in summary, I'll read out this summary. Someone is asking me what is this for loop, while loop. So the decision making statements, haven't you studied in Java programming? The decision making part where we have these loops and all. Have you all not studied that one? Okay. You are studying Shakti. Okay, okay. No, don't get confused. Don't worry. I told you, no, when we are writing the program, I will explain like that. Wait. Okay, I'll explain you. Don't worry. Okay, I'll explain like each and everything in detail. Okay, for like I will quickly go through this summary slide and then we can start the exercise. Okay. So in summary, what is there? An array can store more than one primitive type or object. An element is one of the eight items in an array. Okay, so I'm just reading out. So all these things we have studied. To create an array, you must declare a variable of the correct type and instantiate an array object that the variable refers to. Okay, so this is clear, right? So in order to create an array, what you have to do, you have to declare the variable type. Okay, the data type of the array, and also you have to create an object. I mean, instantiate an array object. So here, what we are doing, it's all about initializing. To which the array, I mean, the variable refers to. To declare an array variable, you code a set of empty brackets after the type or the variable name. So that is using array initializer. To instantiate an array, you use new keyword. So these things I have told you, and you have to specify the length or size of the array in brackets following the array type. You can specify the array length by coding a literal value or by using a constant or variable type of it. Type int. When you instantiate an array of primitive types, numeric types are set to 0 and Boolean types to false. These things are there. Okay. When you create an array of objects, they are set to nulls. Maybe when we are working with real programs, you can understand, but so these are the things we have in summary. Okay, that means here the thing we have to know is that the values in the array, we are calling it as elements. Okay, so there is index. And you have to always keep in mind that the index will be always starting from 0. And how to declare an array, how to initialize a value for the array. So these things they have to know. And now I will move to the exercise we have. Okay. This is the exercise one you had, and how we can do this. Okay, so you are working with Eclipse IDE, right? The students, have you all installed the Eclipse? You are working with that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Students, if you can try out this program, just try it out and see. Else, wait for 2 minutes, or else you can have it like a break, and then we can continue with exercise 1. I'll come back after 2 minutes. Okay, so let's continue. Mm, So exercise 1, create an array of int data type that holds the list of 10 even numbers. Print all the array elements. So here what we are trying to do, so you have to create an array and the data type of the array is given. The data type is int. So it's, I mean, here, based on this, you can understand that holds a 10 list of 10 even numbers. So based on this particular part of the sentence, you can understand that I can get the like what I mean the size of the array and what elements should be there in the array. And what else you have to do? You have to print all the array elements. So now I'll share the screen again with Eclipse. Okay, so now let's see how we can do that particular program. Are you all doing the work with me, dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these steps I'm not telling because I hope you should be knowing how to create the project and how to declare the class and all. Is that so? Or do I need to repeat? Maybe I thought since like you are familiar, I mean, there are some classes have gone, you can do. Am I correct? How to create a Java project and how you are supposed to create the class and all?
Yes, miss.
Okay, very good. So here you need to check this one as well, right? The main method, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to check it. Okay, then click finish. Someone is asking, can we use online compiler app? Why haven't you installed Eclipse? Can I know the reason? That particular person. Mm, the thing is this. So when you are coming physically, here you will be working in the labs. So there you should know how to carry out your work. Otherwise, it's like if you can manage with it, then no problem in using online compile apps because since the class is even conducted online. I can't download. So how did you manage to do such exercises? The same way. Okay, so no problem. You can do. Okay. So what is our what is that? Exercise, right? What is our exercise? Create an array of in data type that holds a list of 10 even numbers. Print all the array elements. Okay, so let's see. So we have created the class, and of course that's a public class. And within the main method, what we are going to do. Okay, so here I told you, right? Rather than, I mean, of course, you should know the way on how we can initialize and how to, I mean, first of all, not initialize, sorry, how to declare, how to initialize, and how to assign the values to the array. That, of course, I have given in the slides. Okay, so no problem. So, shall we do this exercise in two of those ways? Because I plan to do it on how we have studied in the last, I mean, as from the array initializer. Okay, so normally that's how it is done, but no problem. Since it's the very first exercise, what I will do is I will do it using the two exercise, I mean the two methods, array initializer as well as the normal method that we studied now. Okay, so just to recall the things for you, array initializer method is this. This is one method. And this part, I mean, what we have studied using this expression, this is another method. So first of all, I will do for you all using this particular method. Okay. So how to initialize the value? Sorry, first of all, how to declare the value, then how to initialize it, and how we can access, and also finally how to print. I mean, yeah, access in the sense that's about printing. Okay, we can even get the size. So first of all, I will do using that method. And the same exercise, let's see using the array initializer method so that you can clearly understand how to write the code for whatever the method that you are given or you are asked to. Okay, so now I will go back here and let's start writing the program. So as it is given, the data type that we are supposed to use is int, and you can use any name that you like for the array. So in my case, I am going to use uh, maybe we can use, since it's even numbers, we can give a even array and semicolon. Okay, so that is here what we are doing. We are declaring. So it's better you can, if you can take down the comments as well. Declare the array. And then what we are going to do, we are going to initialize the array. Share the screen, right? We have what we are going to do, we are going to initialize the value. So even array equal new int. The data type is int, and as per the question, as per the questions, you have to list out 10 even numbers. Okay, so the size of the array will be 10. So here you are initializing. Okay, so that we have done. And then what we have to do? Third part. First of all, it's about array declaring and then array initializing. Then it is assigning values to the array. Okay, so I will put here assigning values to the array. Okay, so in order to assign the values, how we do? We have to get the name of the array, and then we will be within the square brackets, we'll be putting the index, and you can assign the values, right? So I'll put even array 0. So here you have to list, you have to get the even numbers. You have to get the even numbers. So for example, even numbers, I hope you know what are the even numbers. Okay, so when we are trying to divide the numbers, there will be, the remainder will be 0. Okay, so here I'll put 2, for example. And as I told you, we have to get how much? 10. We have to get 10 even numbers. Okay, so students, now I'm going to do something, but please don't copy or don't try to do the way that I am doing. It's better if you can type. Why I am doing this is there is a reason. I'm trying to save the time so that I can explain you all. Nothing else. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12. Please type everything by yourself. So now I think there should be 10 elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So now what we have done, we have assigned those 10 even numbers to our array. That means we have assigned the values to the array. And now tell me what is the next step we have to do as per our exercise. First of all, you have to create the array and you have to assign the values. Then they say it's about printing the array elements. So for that, what we have to do?
System.out.println.
Yes, very good. That means it's about accessing the array values, right? Accessing the array values. For that, we can use the printing statement. Okay, so I'll put a comment here. Please be careful about using the semicolon. Likewise, you have to print for all these 10 elements. Even if you are copying, when you are trying to get these lines, please make sure that you are changing the index. Okay. I don't know to how far you will listen my words. That's why I'm telling. Otherwise, the same index will be printed again and again. Okay, so that's about what is that? Accessing the array values. That means printing the array elements. I want you all to take down these comments as well. Okay, so now I'll save this one and I'm going to run the program and see. So here you can see the array values are printed. Okay, so have you all completed this program? So here even I can put method 1. So you can understand there are two methods. One is telling if we haven't PC, what can we do? Have everyone completed the program and is the execution fine for you all? Have you all got the correct output?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so shall we move to the next method?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this is about method 1. So you all have taken down these comments as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. This method is very easy, ma'am.
Sorry?
This method is very easy, ma'am.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Okay. Even the next method is easy, so that I was telling. I'll explain you, don't worry, so you can understand. Okay, so this is method 1. Okay. So now I'll create the next project and we can do the same exercise in using method 2. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same exercise in our method 2. Someone asking, ma'am, we must won't type comment or no. Without comment, if it's actually your question is not clear. What is that type? We must won't type comment. So you're asking like, do we need to type the comment? Is that the question you are trying to ask? Oh, no, yeah. I mean, without comment, it's fine, but comment are there in order to easily understand the code. Okay, it's a good practice to have the comments for your program. Okay, so now you are beginners, right? In the future, you are going to go in this path. Maybe. So one day, if you have become a software engineer, so now you are going to work for a big IT company. Okay, suppose you are going to be like that. So you should know some good practices from the beginning. That's why I'm telling you to get the comments. Maybe we don't want to go to that far. Maybe for your semester exam when you are trying to study, sometimes like you can remember and you can understand the things for now. Maybe after some weeks you might have forgotten. So there, if you have the comments, of course you can easily understand what these lines are saying. That's why comments are there. And without comments, yeah, it's all fine. There is no wrong in it. Okay, comments are just have for a good practice. Okay. Okay, so here now we are going to use array initializer method for the same exercise. Okay. So our data type is int. Int. And then now you are going to create what? Even array, right? Even array. And within the braces, you are going to pass equal So here you are going to pass the values separated by commas. So I put even an array here, right? Or did it got deleted? Maybe.
Ma'am, elements are number of 9 are there, not 10.
That means there are 10 elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 elements, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
okay, so here we are using, maybe I can put a comment here as well. Array initializer. Okay, so in this we know that there are the first three processes are carried out here. That is declaring the array, initializing the array, and assigning values to the array. So the next part we have, what is that? Printing the elements of the array. Okay, printing the elements or accessing the array values. So that one we are going to do using for loop. Don't worry about this. I'll explain you in detail. For time being, get the code. First of all, I also will write the code and then we can see. For loop int. Okay, students, first of all, take down this program. Then I will explain you. I hope you should have understood this part. So this is the problem for you all now. I will explain that in detail. Okay, let me also run the program. 40. Okay, other side. Okay, here is the output. So someone is asking me, like, what is the number of the class that you are having today? Someone just now asking me how to install the Eclipse. So all the details are there in DLE, right? Even sir instructed everything. And sir told. Sir have given the message and everything were there. So where were you all this time? Please first of all check VLE and see. Okay, so have you all completed the program? Then can I explain you the for loop, how this loop is working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, others. So I'm just waiting. I'm just giving you all time because before we go to the explanation, I want everyone to complete the program. Okay, so I hope by now you should have finished it. Okay, so students, I know so I feel since you can you provide the PDF? Why? Yes, so those who are not having PC, you can use online tools. I'm gonna request my wait, I'll come back. Now I want to explain this part for you all then. So in order to explain this, I'm going to get a notepad. Okay. So students don't get. So I have got a notepad. Is that visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so here don't get confused about this for loop. Okay, loop, I mean the decision making parts and all the iterating statements. So that part is there for the programming. So you see, as you are telling that you are in the chapter 3 or 4, maybe you'll be studying that. Okay, so there sir will explain the things in detail. But don't worry, now I also will try to explain you the things so that like by combining both we can make it easy. Okay, normally for any programming languages, we are having this part called loops. Okay, so now our programming language is Java, and for Java also we are having these loops. Okay, so loops mean from the term itself, maybe you can understand, those are used to iterate a part of the sentence or a part of the program for several times or for a number of times. Okay, so these are used to iterate the part of the program for number of times. Okay, for example, if you want to do the particular thing here, for example, now what we have to do, we are having these numbers in a list. Okay, we want to print like one by one. So that means we are going to do a task for the number of times. Okay, for some number of times we are going to repeat a particular task. That is what looping is. Okay, so looping that normally in when we take Java, they come as for loop. There are mainly three types of loops. Okay, for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So there are three types of loops. So I'll put here loops are to iterate a part of the program for a number of times or for several times. Okay, so in Java, we have the first one. For loop is there. There are three. While loop is there. Then do while loop is there. Okay, so these three loops are there. Wait a minute, let me save it so that I can share this file with you all. Okay, so that, and so now we know, right? So for example, for a Java program, if you want to print a statement, now of course you know there is a way that you will be using. You will be having this statement, and within the brackets you can write whatever that you are supposed to print, and you will be finishing it with semicolon, right? So for anything, for anything, we are having a way to do that when it comes to programming or when it comes to Java. The same thing. Okay, so for loops also, we are having a format that we have to follow in order to write that particular sentence or that particular line of the program. Okay, so there are, so in the format, okay, in the particular format, you will be having four things. Okay, even if maybe I can write you those things, and since you have wait, let me write the things and then increment or decrement. Are you familiar with these terms? Can you tell me? Are you familiar with these terms? Increment or decrement?
No, ma'am.
No, no, right? Okay. So I told you, right? So for the loops, when you are trying to write a loop, that will be just here you can see just one sentence, just one statement. But in this statement, there is a format for that. Okay, so what are those in the format? You will be having four parts. Okay, there will be four parts. That is the first one is initialization. And the condition, so initialization means, okay, you will be having a variable and you will be most probably you will be initializing a value to it. Okay, so for example, in our case, we are going to print out these numbers, right? So here what we are doing is we are creating a temporary variable. We are creating a temporary variable called I and we are initializing it to 0. We are telling that at the beginning its value is 0. And then you will be having a condition. Condition means based on the variable that we have created, we will be creating a condition. If the condition passes, so for the condition there are two options. Either the condition will pass or the condition will fail. Okay, so here get this point carefully. First of all, you will be having initialization, nothing to do with that. So in the initialization, you will be creating a temporary variable and you will be assigning a value to it. That's it. And the next part of the statement, you will be having a condition. Condition means from the condition, you will be having two things. Either the condition will pass or fail. If the condition passes only, then your statement, the loop will move further. Otherwise, if it is failing, then we are executing out. Okay, it's like termination. And then you will be having increment or decrement. So I told you loops mean it's all about iterating for a number of times. So you have to go to the next step. So that is what we call as increment or decrement. Increment means we will be increasing the value. Decrement means we will be decreasing the value. And the statement. So here, this part will be having a statement. Mostly it will be the statement that you are supposed to print. So these are the four parts of the loop. Okay, so now tell me, is it understandable to some extent? Am I making it clear for you all?
Ma'am, please repeat it again.
So I told you, so okay. Have you all got what a loop is? So why there is loop in Java or for a programming language? Is that clear for you? Have you all got what a loop is?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, I told you, right? So what? So no, in the sense there is nothing complex with that. I told you, loop is so when we are trying to so in a piece of code, but using loop, what we will be doing when we want to do a particular thing for a number of times, or when we want to execute a part of the program for a number of times, then it's all about using the loops. What it will do, it will iterate a part of the program for a number of times or for several times. So haven't you understood this part, this one? Is there anyone who understood it? Okay, so that's what a loop is. Loop means, so in your program, this is your program. So in the program, if you want to do a particular task, or if you want to execute a particular part of the program for a number of times, that means for some several numbers, not once, more than once. If you want to execute it, then what we are going to do, that means we are trying to iterate something. So there, of course, you will be using the loops that you have in Java. So in Java, you are having three types of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, so now we are discussing the for loop. So in the for loop, there are four parts. So here you can see. So this is a for loop statement. In this statement, you will be having four parts. Okay, first of all, as I told you, you will be creating a temporary variable and you will be assigning the value for it. Okay, I will tell you why we are having this temporary variable. That variable is the one who is going to do our task, who is going to perform the task for us. So what is our ultimate task? I mean ultimate goal, that is to print the elements that we have. So for that, we are creating this variable. So this variable will be creating each and every element one by one. First, using the for loop, it will create two. I mean, it will not create, it will print two. Then it will print four. Then it will print six. Then it will print eight. Then it will print 10. Likewise, it will be at the last, it will print 20. So that's why we are having this variable called I. And you have to initialize a value for it. So normally we will be making, at the beginning, we will be making its value as 0. Okay. And the second part, you will be having a condition. So the condition is what? So that's what I told you. Condition, from the condition, you will be having two options. Either your condition will be correct or the condition will be wrong. If your condition is correct, that means if it is a pass for your condition only, you will be further continuing with your loop. Else, if your condition is a false, then you will be terminating out of the loop. That means you will be executing from the loop. And then you will be having increment or decrement. So this is to move forward to the next line. I mean, to the next step. First of all, initially you will be printing 2. Then you have to print 4, right? So in order to print the number 4, you have to increment the value. Or so based on your program, you have to sometimes you have to decrement the value. Okay, so this is in simple, just get the idea, the increment or decrement, this part, that is to move to the next level. And this statement, so here you have the statement that is to print. Okay, so these are the 4 parts that you are having in the for loop. Okay, so now I will tell you how this particular for loop is supposed to work and how we can print each and every element. Here in our console, in our output console, each and every element has been printed, right? So I will tell you how that is possible. So here what I will do is, first of all, I will get this for loop. Okay, so this is our loop. This is our loop. Okay. So here, what we are going to do is we have to print all those numbers one by one. So by going from here, I can even tell you this. Here you can see better. So these are the numbers we have to print, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Right? These are the numbers we have to print. Then by using the loop, what we are going to do? We are going to print one by one. The loop, first of all, it will print 2. Then it will print 4. Then it will print 6. Likewise, it will print up to 20. So here, there is a term for that. Nice print. Why is it like this? I don't know. Okay, so here, first of all, we will be printing this part. Then this. Likewise, it will be going on now. So what we are calling is, this is our, so to our loop, this is the first pass that we are calling as pass 1. Okay, and then we have to print this part, this one. So that we will call as pass 2. Like, for each pass, how our loop is supposed to work. Okay, so this term is also important for you. Now I will explain you how the particular for loop is working. So now let's have pass 1. Okay, at pass 1, we are having a variable called I, and the value of I is 0. Right? The value of I is 0. Okay. Before that, we have to get one more thing. Can someone tell me what will be the answer for this? This part we have studied. Even array dot length. What will be the answer for this?
Ten.
Very good. That means I have showed you, right? Maybe I can show you. I can show you in the slide. Getting array size. So here, with array's name and if you are dot length, so that will return you the size of the array. Okay, so here before this we can have a note for that as well. Then you can easily carry on your work. So even array dot length equal 10. Now you can do the work. Okay, this is also important. Okay, so now we are in pass 1. So pass 1, initially its value is 0. And now we are going to check this condition. I less than even array dot length. So I told you its value is 10. Okay, now we are going to check the condition. I less than 10. Can someone tell me whether it's a pass or fail?
Pass.
How? Tell me.
0 is less than 10.
Very good. Yeah. So 0 is less than 10. So the condition is pass. Or we can even tell condition is true. True or false. Let's take it that way. The Boolean values. Okay. So now our condition is true. That means I'll put it here. 0 less than 10 is true. Right? So our condition is true. Okay. So I told you, right? If the condition is true only, we are going to the next step. Otherwise, if it is false, you have to execute. You have to come out. Okay. So now let's go to the next part. I plus plus. Okay. I plus plus, that will be coming in the next step. So just for the time being, just get this. Now we are incrementing. I plus plus means it is increasing. Okay, now we are incrementing the value of I. That means we are increasing the value of I by 1. That is important. Okay, so now you have to know these things, right? Incrementing. For example, I plus plus. So here what you have to do is increase the value of I by 1. Okay, so that is also important. Okay, so now we are incrementing the value of I by 1 and come to the next line. Now our condition is true, right? If the condition is true, then we are moving to the next line. So here what is that? We have to print system.out.println. We have to print even array. In our array, we have to print the value of I. Okay, so here it will be like this. Even array 0. Can someone tell me what will be the value for this?
2.
2, very good. Okay, I. So we are getting I value from here. Don't get confused. All the things are here. All the things I have given here. Okay, so even array I. That means now the value of I is 0. So that is equal to 2. Now 2 will be printed at our first pass using the for loop. Now tell me, is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Others?
Yes,
Yes, miss.
What about others?
Ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So shall we go and check the second pass and see? There you will definitely get the things. Okay, very good. Okay, so now we have printed 2, right? So when we have printed 2, so from wait, where I server not so now we have printed 2. So next we have to print 4. That means we have to go to the next pass. Okay, so I will go to next pass. Pass 2. Pass 2, and we are going to process the same. Okay, so the same for loop. Okay, but here I told you, for the next level, what we are doing, we are increment. I can write that one as well. For the next, to the next, no, for the next. For the next level, increment the value of I. Okay, so that is important. So now you know increment means increasing the value of I by 1. I plus plus means increasing the value by 1. Okay, so now tell me, what will be the I for pass 2? What will be the value of I for pass 2?
1. 1, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Increasing the value of I by 1. So that means now the value of I is 1. Very good. Okay, so that is done. And now what we have to check the condition. The same thing. Okay, so I less than 10. That means, okay, 1 less than 10. Tell me whether it's true or false.
True, ma'am.
Yes, very good. It's
True,
true,
ma'am.
right? If the condition is true, what we are going to do? Tell me, if the condition is true, what we are going to do?
Print, ma'am.
Yes,
System
very
out
good.
print.
Yes, very good. That means if the condition is true, we are going to move to the next line. I mean, we are going to process further. We are not stopping from there. That is the idea you have to keep in mind. If it is false only, you have to come out. Otherwise, until then, you are going to be there inside. Okay, so here the same thing. Even array. So printing this part, right? Even array I. So now tell me what will be the value here?
1.
1.
4.
Okay, don't get confused. One person was telling 1. That is here we have to pass the index. And the value, the element will be 4. Okay, so
Yes,
both of
yes,
you are
ma'am.
in a way, yeah,
That is
yeah,
here telling.
yeah, yes, okay, the value will be 4. So now our 4 is also printed. Is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? Now is it clear how the for loop is working? So at the beginning you guys were a bit worried, right? Now is it easy for you all? Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So here the next step. I mean, now since our conditions are true and all, we are still in our loop. So for the next level also, we are going to increment the value of I. So now we are going to go to task 3. Now tell me what will be the value of I?
2.
2.
Very good. Now already it was 1. Now the value of I will be 2. Right? Okay. So 2, then condition. So what is our condition? I less than 10. Okay, that means 2 less than 10. What about?
True.
Very good. True. Right? If it is true, we are going to print. What will be here?
2.
2.
The index will be 2 and the value of our element will be
6.
6. Very good. Okay, so now clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Likewise, we have to do up to 20. Okay, no problem. Shall we do everything so that you can see when there's a false coming, how to terminate? Yeah, that's better. So I will do, okay? Oh, it's better if I can. So if you want, you can take all this down. Otherwise, at the end of the class, I will share this in the chat. Okay, don't worry. So for that, I will write everything in detail so that you can refer it. So now still we are going to increment the value of I. And we are going to go to pass 4. Okay, so at the pass 4, and save the time in this way. So at the pass 4, the value of I will be
3.
3.
3 years. If the condition is true, so here will be 8.
8.
Yes. Okay, so again we are going to increment it, right? and I will go to pass 5. I'm doing this way to reduce our time because it's already past 4:15. I at least want to finish this and go. So 5. Now, since it's incremented already 3, now the value will be 4. Still the condition is true. So shall I continue this way until we try to? Shall I continue this way quickly until we terminate? Because you have understood how it's working, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. That way I can save the time, that's why. 4 advanced 6, it's 5. Sorry, 5. 5 less than 10 true. And at index 5, we'll be having 12. Pass 7. 7. The value will be 6. And 6 less than 10 true. At index 6, we will be having 14. At pass 8, the value will be, for I will be 7. 7 less than 10 true. At index 7 will be 16. Again, we are going to increment the value of I, and that will be pass 9. The value of I will be 8 by incrementing, and 8 less than 10 is true. So at index 8, we'll be having 18. Okay, now we have come to 12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah. Now again, I'm going to increment the value of I. Okay, now we are in pass 10. Pass 10. So the value of I will be equal to 9. And I condition is 9, I less than 10. So 9 less than 10, that is true. So we are going to get the element using the index. So at index 9, it is 20. So let's again increment the value of I by 1. So at pass 11, okay, pass 11, the value of I will be equal to 10. Okay, condition is I less than 10. Sorry, 11. Value of I will be equal to 10, right? Okay, okay. Okay, so here tell me whether the condition is true or false.
False.
Very good. Very good. So now the condition is true. That's what I told you. From this point onwards, we can move further since the condition is true. So we are terminating out of the loop. So here you can see all our elements are printed now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So now is this clear? The for loop. So with that, we'll be able to execute our program, and your output will be this. So now tell me, how do you feel now? Is this understandable and clear enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about others?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear and understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so for you all, I don't know how many of you should have taken it. So in the chat, I will post this particular that notepad file so that you can refer it. Please save it, okay? Have you all got the file? Please download it and save it before the meeting ends. Okay, so up to now what we have done, we have completed exercise 1 using the 2 methods that we have studied. Okay, so there are exercise 2, 3 and are there. Okay, so everything okay, right? Before we don't get man means I have shared, you are telling the file. So I have shared the file to everyone in the class. So to everyone in the meeting, I have shared the file. Okay, no worries. I will post it in the WhatsApp. Yeah, okay. Okay, so actually I also want to leave. Okay, so now we have exercise 2 and the rest are to be discussed. Of course, I will do them in our upcoming class and it will be on Tuesday. Okay, so I hope everything okay up to this level. So with this, I would like to wind up our class for today. Okay, right? Okay, so if it is so, you all can, there are chats. Okay, so with this, I will wind up the class for today. Thank you very much, everyone. You all can leave now. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.